The biggest thing that you have to look for when in the transfer portal is finding the right player that fits your system. Now, sometimes you look for a proven winner, other times you look for a guy with ample production, and if you're lucky, you'll get both. And that's exactly what someone's going to get when they land Washington State quarterback Cam Ward for the 2024 season. Let's go ahead and talk about it. If you are new here, welcome on into the channel. My name is Cole Thompson. I'm a radio show host based in Houston, and I talk college football daily. So if this is the type of content you enjoy, make sure you smash that subscribe button down below. Thank you to all of our brand new subscribers for joining the channel. But remember to tell your friends, your family, your mortal enemies, your best of bros, your fraternity brothers, your workout partners, your entire church congregation about this channel. We're on the race to 1,000, then 10,000, then 25,000, and 100,000. Guys, we're going to get there. So you might as well jump on in while the water's fine now. Make sure that you also give me a follow on social media at Mr. Cole Thompson. It's the exact same as my YouTube handle. We talk college football over there all the time. And let's continue to talk about college football right here and right now. Cam Ward does not have the stat line in terms of wins and losses that would guarantee he is a winner. But go back and look at his tenure when he was at Incarnate Word, and you would be slightly mistaken on that. Cam Ward is one of the best quarterbacks that was in the portal right now. In fact, you can make an argument he is, in terms of talent, the best quarterback in the portal right now. He gets a gunslinger mentality. He can throw it a country mile. Uncle Rico would be proud of him, and he's mobile. And he may not have the numbers that back it up in terms of rushing. He's not going to be a guy that averages over 1,000 yards on the ground. So no Jaden Daniels 2.0, but he is a player that can make some noise inside the red zone. He had 8 rushing touchdowns this past year, and he can manipulate defenses behind the line of scrimmage to create the illusion and the improvisation to keep drives alive. And that's the momentum that you need for a lot of different programs. Now, the main question is, where does he go? Because he could go into the NFL draft. I have talked to some people around NFL circles, and his stat line and his draft production is probably more so a day 3 pick. And day 3 picks versus maybe going back for another year and earning a little bit more NIL money, and there's been rumors that he's going to get paid an abundance this offseason, is probably the difference of what decides what his next plan is. And I think ultimately he will come back to school for one more season. So where can he land? I'm going to give you 3 names. I'm going to give you a wild card. For starters, the first one, pretty obvious here. I think Florida State. Florida State needs to upgrade at quarterback. They're losing Jordan Travis this offseason. If they're not sold on Tate Rodemaker, and they're probably not sold on anybody else they have right now, you got to go get a veteran, somebody who can set the tone and keep you ahead of the curve when looking at the future of the ACC. Next year, 12 teams are going to be in the playoffs. Potentially, 2 teams will come from the ACC, whether it be Florida State and Clemson, or Florida State and Miami, or Clemson and Miami, or maybe a surprise team like UNC. You got to do everything in your power to stay the course, because nothing is promised anymore outside of just the conference champion of getting in. So you add this guy into your roster. You still have a young wide receiver core in the building. Maybe you keep Trey Benson for another year. Your defense is going to be very sound next season, even though you'll lose players like Jared Verse. This is the guy that kind of sets the tone, and his mobility outside of the pocket, I think, will really benefit the Seminoles if you were to go down there. Speaking of Florida, let's stay in the state and let's talk about Miami. Miami lost the guy in Tyler Van Dyke. They may not be sold on what they currently have on the roster, and this is a big year for Mario Cristobal. It's a big year because of, I think that Miami could be next season's Texas, where you see improvements in year 1. You're not really liking the record. Year 2, you become bowl eligible. There's some positivity. And then in year 3, you utilize the transfer portal for exactly what it's made for, adding in those last few pieces. Florida State did this past year. They need a number 1 cornerback. They get Fentrell Cypress. They need a boundary outside wide receiver. They go with Keon Coleman. And while the College Football Playoff Committee did not view them well enough to be in the CFP, they were well enough to go undefeated. And I think that's exactly what Miami is trying to do. They need a quarterback. They need somebody who can fit what Shannon Dawson wants to run. You look at Dawson's passing numbers when he was at the University of Houston, very similar to what could be the type of production needed that you saw in Pullman underneath Jake Dickert when you watched Cam Ward become a superstar. Makes a lot of sense. Absolutely is somebody that I think needs to be a player in the market in terms of getting a transfer portal quarterback. And if he comes down to South Beach, best of luck to you guys. The ACC is going to be popping next year, and they're going to have one of the best young quarterbacks and probably a name to watch for in the Heisman market. The next team, Ohio State. And this is one that's been rumored for a while. You know, you look at the young quarterbacks that are currently on staff with Devin Brown and Aaron Nolan coming in. You still need a veteran. And the real big selling point for me, if I am Ryan Day trying to get Cam Ward, what's been the biggest problem in the game? What's been the biggest problem in the game? Mobility at the quarterback position. Go back and watch Saturday. You see the way that J.J. McCarthy was able to play. You see the way that when pressure was coming down low and Jim Knowles was sending all-out blitzes, McCarthy was able to utilize his legs, extend plays outside the pocket, and keep momentum at an all-time high. Is he an elite quarterback? No, I don't think so. I think that J.J. McCarthy is exactly what is needed in Ann Arbor for the Wolverines to be successful alongside a great ground game. Well, you might have a great ground game in Columbus, Ohio. You might have exceptional receivers. You're losing Julian Fleming, but you're getting more reps for Carnell Tate. That's exactly what you want to see. And Ohio State, they're a factory. They're a pump line of exactly what you're looking for in terms of NFL talent. They can land whoever the hell they please, either in the transfer portal, either on the recruiting circuit, but you need that veteran quarterback. You get a little bit of mobility. We've already seen what Ryan Day can do with a mobile quarterback. Go back and look at Justin Fields. And what's the funny fact about Justin Fields? Last quarterback to beat Michigan. Pretty significant numbers when you see that mobility factor in against the Wolverines. Absolutely would make sense. It's a one-year rental that would give you time to elevate Aaron Nolan, get him infected with the offensive system. And really, this is a big year for Ryan Day because if he has got to land somebody who can come in and be an immediate upgrade over what you lost in Kyle McCord. Now, the wild card here. And I think at the West Coast is going to be a factor. I don't think Washington's going to be in play. So sorry, Husky fans. You're getting another quarterback that's pretty mobile. I don't think Oregon's going to be in play. They seem to be interested in two different quarterbacks, neither of which is Cam Ward. But USC, I think, is going to have to be a factor in this. And for Cam Ward, this honestly is where you sit down and you have a serious conversation with yourself. I'm going to USC, where I know that defenses is suspect, even though they just added in a brand new coordinator, and even though they're going to be heaven going into the transfer portal, landing in talent. I know that they are going to be missing some wide receivers. There are going to be some players leaving in the transfer portal. But this is Lincoln Riley, and Lincoln Riley has punched out multiple first-round quarterbacks. In fact, you look at the numbers, Baker Mayfield, you look at Kyler Murray, you look at Caleb Williams, you also look at what he's done with Jalen Hurts and his progression. All four Heisman finalists, three of them won the Heisman Trophy. If there's anything that you could say positively about Lincoln Riley, he understands what it takes to be a significant and stylistic quarterback in the NFL. And if I'm Cam Ward and I see the production of what happened underneath Jalen Hurts, and I see the progression of what we saw with Kyler Murray in his 1 year, and I look at what happened when you got Caleb Williams in the system and how he flourished and now is going to be the number one pick, I'm considering that. I think that has to be on the table. If there is an offer coming from Los Angeles and I can be that element that sends the Big Ten into haywire year one in the Trojan system, I'm a hero. I'm a hero in LA. I'm a hero for the Trojans, and my name's going to be remembered forever, and I'm going to win some hardware in the process. So I wouldn't count out USC either. They're definitely, I think, going to be a player. They're looking to add quarterback portal. And if you get a guy like Cam Ward with the mobility, with the red zone efficiency, the timing, the accuracy, the touch, and also that deep ball, you're in for a world of hurt if you're playing USC. Give Lincoln Riley a cookie, he's going to want some milk. You give Cam Ward Lincoln Riley, he's going to make hell for any team that wants to play the Trojans. So those are the four teams that I think you have to watch for. Number one, Florida State. Definitely need to get an upgrade over what you have right now in the locker room. Number two, Miami. This is a year where I think they make the jump like Texas. They're going to be a player in the ACC come 2024. Ohio State, need that mobility in your backfield. You get that at quarterback. You probably have a shot of winning the game. And the wild card, USC. If anybody knows how to get quarterbacks prepared and more than anything qualified to start in the NFL, it's Lincoln Riley, and the Trojans need to upgrade over what they have after losing Caleb Williams to the NFL draft. Thank you so much for watching that video. Don't hit the X button yet. Make sure you hit subscribe to keep up with all of our daily content found on Just Saying It and anything else that we post on this channel. Bye.